we're making chicken stock today, and we make it from our old layers. These are girls that have done their duty for about 1.5 years, and then we slaughter them and turn them into soup. So you'll see that they're somewhat small birds. They're not terrible, but somewhat small. And then this one actually has a little more meat on it than some that I've seen before. But here's the ones a little bit smaller. They have meat on them, but they're very tough, so we don't want to cook them in another fashion. We don't want to turn them into roast chicken or whatever. And then we, so in each of these pots, I'm going to put in 3 layers. And then I have a number of chicken feet. These are also from our chicken slaughter. I put, in this case, I'm putting in 5, I think, that packages of chicken feet each. And then we will fill the pot with water, pretty much up to the top, a little bit below the top. And we'll throw in some vinegar to help take the calcium out of the bones, pull the calcium out of the bones, and some salt. And we'll boil them on the stove for 6, 7, 8 hours or so, and then show you the next step. So here I have put in, now we have 3 chickens, and I think I said 4 or 5 packages of feet, whatever you have really. And each pot, and I put in a little handful of Celtic sea salt and probably a half cup of our vinegar from the farm, and we fill them full of water. And we're going to let these boil now, probably until about, let's see, it's about 10 of 9. We'll probably let them boil till about 2 so that we can process them before the end of the day today.
We've come to the next stage on the chicken stock. You can see this is a 5-gallon pot, and when I started, probably the water was right about there, so it's boiled down significantly. We enjoy cooking things on our wood stove because we can just leave it going with a little bit of wood in it and let things kind of steam to cook. This is a really nice pot for that. You can see this lid, it fits on really nice and snugly. So that you can have like it turns it into a steamer, which I think is probably the best way to make a stock. You can just kind of keep that water in as much as you can, but it's just really steam cooking and really bringing out all the minerals and really softening the cartilage and all those things in the soup.
Okay, now we're on the next step. I actually took this off the stove and then put it outside to cool off on the porch so that I could have some friends help me with my chicken stock today. But we're just going through here. You remember that I think there were 3 or 4 chickens. Here's a big breast in here, and a lot of feet. And so we're just pulling out and leaving in the pot all the chicken and all of the cartilage, and if there are any organs in there, they stay in the pot. And what goes in there is bones. And with chickens, it takes a long time to get all the bones out because you got some really tiny ones like this, for example. And you have to really keep looking with your hands to make sure you get them all out. So it's a bit of a process, but this is the next step to get all that separated. So we end up in here with just meat and cartilage and skin and organs. The last step in making a fine chicken stock is to make sure that you get rid of all those little tiny bones. And as much as we tried to pull them all out while we were sorting the chicken from the juice, there are still little ones that make it into the food processor. So our last step is to run it through one more straining with a colander, in which case we can gather all the little detritus at the bottom. And you can see there's some here in the bottom of the pot too. And we'll just drop that in the compost, and we'll have a really nice product that's, you don't have to pick your teeth when you're eating it. So our last piece of work is to actually put this nice puree into the quartz, and then we'll freeze it. So one of the things I want to put a little more than that in there, just up to a 1/4 inch below that line there. Chicken stock tends to really bulk up when it freezes, so we want to make sure that it's low enough in here because otherwise it'll pop the lid off in the freezer, and that's a pain in the butt. So that's the last word of advice, and then we just put them in these nice recycled containers. One day I'll move all the way to glass, but I haven't yet given up my plastic. and Angie will put a tag on it, and it'll be all set to go. And we are selling chicken stock, beautiful 2025 old layered chicken and feet stock for $5 a quart, and you can buy it at the farm. We don't ship. Thanks.